everyone. Welcome back. Good day. Thank you for tuning in again. My name is Brigitta Hoeferle. We have talked about just recently about inner wealth. Well, first of all, let's plug right into that. What is wealth to you? And before we go further into this, I hope you have something to write on and write with so you can take crazy notes, because I'm going to go through some great nuggets that you definitely want to write down. And I want to make sure that you have something to write on and write with. So, what is wealth to you? I read a quote the other day, and I just want to quote that to you really quick. Some people are so poor, all they have is money. Some people are so poor, all they have is money. And as I said in the Inner Wealth Strategy video and workshop, what is wealth to you? I asked you that question, and if you have already written that out, awesome. Maybe you can think about that a little bit deeper. And if you have not done that yet, I highly, highly encourage you to do that, to write out what is wealth to you. Because wealth can mean many, many things. It can mean money, but it certainly is not and should not be limited to money. So, to recap really quick on what we talked about in the inner game, how are you going to make the inner work so the outer does? I'm going to state that question again to you. How are you going to make the inner work so the outer does? If it's not happening here, it's not going to come out and be strategized outside in the way that you want it to. And it all starts with awareness. I hope you can read it. The sun is still shining, and I love the sun. It starts with awareness. What you do not know, you cannot attach a certain thought onto. If you're not aware of it, if it's subconsciously, you first got to become aware of it in order to have a thought around it, in order to create a feeling around it. Then this is the internal, this is the inner game, and now we're going into the outer, the action and the results. We talked about that it can go both directions. The thoughts goes into the feeling, which takes an action and then comes into a result. And I talked about the Monday morning, and it can just, start with a really, really nasty Monday morning thought, and then it just can go all downhill from there on. Or you can do it the other way. You have a choice to start with a really good thought that goes into a great feeling that will make you take incredible action, and the result will be positive and supportive. So it's really up to you, and it's a choice, a very conscious decision that you make. I'm going to go, and I'm going to draw this out really quick in a different way, and I highly encourage you to just write that out for yourself, because it's really a circle, and I hope you can read my writing. It's in here. So we're going from the thoughts to the feelings, to set some objectives, to go into planning, to execute, to have results that will then result in greater thoughts that will turn into success feelings, that will turn into new goals that come with new planning, that will bring you into more action, and then you have a result. So you're going, as I said, you're going into an upward spiral, and it all starts with the inner game. It all starts with you being aware. What am I thinking? What are my thoughts that are turning into a feeling, that are starting for me to to write down objectives that I have, to go into planning, to execute them, to then see results again. So it's a constant circle. It's your choice. Is this going to go up and support me and create greater results, or do I choose to go downward and have negative thoughts and unsupportive feelings and so on and so forth, and take that downward spiral? And that's really a choice that we all make on a daily basis. I read another quote the other day, and I want to read that to you. A dream written down with a date becomes a goal. A dream written down with a date becomes a goal. A goal broken down into steps becomes a plan. A goal broken down into steps becomes a plan. And a plan backed up by action makes your dreams come true. A plan backed up by action makes a dream come true. That is the outer wealth. All right, let's go into the step by step. We talked about the awareness, we talked about the thoughts and the feelings that are attached to that, but really now I'm going from everything that's going on in your head into the external part, into the goal setting the objectives, then going into the planning, then executing them and taking action, taking that step, taking that next step, and then going into and seeing the results. So it starts out with, what do you specifically want? When you're writing out your objectives, what is it that you want? Well, I want to be financially free. Okay, so if you write down, let's go with that example really quick. I want to be financially free. First of all, I, as a mentor and a coach, would tell you, when you're writing that out, I highly encourage you to write that out in an I am statement, because what you're writing out as an I am statement, you are already speaking it into existence. So I am financially free. Now, that sentence is really general. It's very generic, it's very large, and it's not specific whatsoever. Because financially free for me can mean something completely different that it means to you, that it means to my daughter, that it means to my business partner. So what specifically do you mean by that when you are stating, I am financially free? By December 31st, 2016, I am making X amount of dollars. Okay, that's more specific. Let's just, for the sake of the example, by December 31st, 2016, I have added a very specific date to that objective, to that goal. By December 31st, 2016, I am making $40,000 a month. By December 31st, 2016, I am making $40,000 a month. That's specific. You can make it even more specific. Are you making those $40,000 a month net or gross? Even more specific. Write that out. That is a very, very clear goal that you have. Now, a lot of you might say, well, that's a really big goal, Brigitta. Well, I'm just using an example, and I want you to use big goals. Big, hairy, audacious goals that when you look at them, you're kind of breaking out all in sweat. You're going, oh, how am I ever going to get there? I just want you to put it on paper for right now, just for the sake of writing down the goal. It might be, I am making $40,000 by December 31st, 2016 net in passive income. Okay, great. Define passive income. Define where that money is coming from. And when you're writing out that goal, you might not be able to define that. Perfect. Leave it where it is there and then in the moment, because I'm going to go through those steps a little bit deeper. A part of that that goal setting, that's a pretty big goal, but it is defined very specifically and clear. Awesome. Keep it that way. What are some of the aspects that you need in order to break down that goal? Passive income. So where is that money? Where can that money flow in from? It can be all of your passive income streams, and we're not going to go into what passive income streams can be. There are many opportunities out there, and I have worked and I do work with many clients and myself in some of those passive income streams. It can also mean that whatever you have as a traditional work or a job, what would that mean that you would have to do more of? Perhaps invite more sales into your business. Perhaps sell more of your products. Okay, sell more of your products. How much more? What is your product? How much is your product per product? And how many times would you have to sell that in order to get to that goal by December 31st, 2016? You kind of catching on where I'm going with it. So we're really breaking it out. When you're stating this objective, when you're stating this goal, visualize yourself there. See yourself at December 31st, 2016. Where will you be? I know I'll be probably in Naples, Florida, creating our vision board for 2017. That's one of our rituals that we have for the new year. I want you to visualize yourself there. Wherever you are, see yourself there. What are you seeing? See that money in your bank account. You know what? I have created for some of my clients, they've created, and I've created with them, a mock bank statement that had the date on it, December 31st, 2016, that had the amount of dollars that they are inviting into their bank account on that mock bank statement, just for them to visualize. Okay, so now that money's flowing in, now you see that already coming into your bank account. What are you going to do with that? How are you going to play with that money? 10% should go into your play account. 10% or 5%, I highly encourage you to give to charity and be involved in some sort of volunteer and giving position. So get really clear. Okay, so if I have 10% of that money to play, what am I gonna play? Dream big. See yourself there, whatever is it that you're doing. Maybe you're swimming with sharks. Maybe you're, renting a Porsche for a day and taking it on a big track. Whatever floats your boat. Maybe you're standing in a soup kitchen and helping hundreds of thousands of people, feeding them, making a difference in the world. See yourself already there and dream and get really clear and specific what it is that you're specifically doing. Maybe you see yourself paying some of your debt off. And by the way, just as a side note, I have a spreadsheet for you to get really clear around which debt you have, with which credit card, with which loan company, how much the interest, and it's got all formulas in it. So if you want that, I'd be more than happy to give that to you. That just as a side note. But that also then creates more positive thoughts. When you start thinking about that and feeling the relief and feeling that feels good. I want to do more of this. This feels I'm going in the right direction. Do more of that. Plug into that feeling. Plug into that visualization. Another quick side note. I have another spreadsheet to give to you, getting really clear on what money is coming into your household and what money is going out. So for your household, a very simple spreadsheet, but it's very detailed. You'll love it. I'll give that to you as well, just so you see this is the money coming in, this is the money going out, and what's the difference, and what are we going to do with what's left over. Play, charity, putting it in your financial freedom account, investing, whatever it is that you are planning, what you are setting goals on, you want to get really, really clear and specific. Now, perhaps you see yourself, as you're visualizing, you see yourself in a new home. What does that new home look like? What does that new home now have that your other home didn't have? Maybe you see yourself riding a new car and hearing that car and feeling that car and how it feels. So really make that all of those feelings come alive as you are setting goals for these new goals. Feel how your confidence level rises and your anxiety level drops. Big, 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 big key. So you want to plug into everything as you're visualizing what you're seeing, but also what are you hearing? Perhaps your new home has a smell, or the new car has a smell. Plug into that smell. What is it that you're seeing? Again, visualization. Make it well-rounded. If you can tap into a smell, if you're the smelling kind of person, perhaps there's a specific fragrance that you like. So make it fun, make it alive. And this will take a little bit of time. You setting your goals and then going into the planning stage, that takes time, and I encourage you to put the time in your calendar. We're going to go into time management here in a second. Put the time in your calendar and make time for that on a daily basis. And you will see the more you do goal setting and writing out your objectives, the easier it's going to get, the more clarity you will receive, and it's not going to cost you that much time down the road. That first big session of goal setting, that first big visualization, that's going to take time, and you want to take that time. Make it a fun time. You know, when we visualize something that we want to do as a family or as a business, we take the time and we make it a fun time. We have some drinks and a little bit of food, and just take the time, have a ton of markers and poster boards and all kinds of things that you can focus on. What do you want to put down on paper? Another key part of putting something on paper with your hand and not writing it out on a computer is the hand is connected to your heart. The hand is connected to your heart, and everything that you form with a pen or a pencil or marker or whatever it might be, you are creating that from your brain through your hand, and it goes back to your heart. There's a very, very special connection, and that's why I encourage you to get really creative. If you're good in cutting and pasting with scissors and glue, awesome. If you're really good at drawing, do that. If you're really good at spelling it out in words, super. Whatever it is, just get really, really in there and creative, and that does take a little bit of time. So, you've all heard the quote, "How do you eat the elephant?" Right? I got news for you. Stop eating the freaking elephant. You can't eat it. Stop it. You'll choke on the elephant. You want to write out the elephant. You want to draw it out. You want to have poster boards. You want to make sure that you see this elephant, the objective, the goal, right in front of you. How big is it? Which color does it have? And what's the smell around it? I want you to get really, really specific, but there is one major key in this. Don't try to eat the elephant. Find a butcher. Oh, wow. First of all, you might want to go plant-based. My daughter's all plant-based, and I learned a lot from her in the past year. So this is not a question of literally eating an elephant and literally inviting a butcher in. This is really just an analogy. So when I say invite a butcher to help you cut up the elephant, I really mean a consultant or a mentor or a coach or somewhat of the work that I do, okay? Just want to make sure. But invite someone that will help you look at what you've created, the goal that you've set out, and go into that planning phase with you and chunk it down. Don't go and try to eat the frickin' elephant by yourself, for crying out loud. Create a team around you. Have people, have mentors in your inner circle that you can call upon, that will look at what you have put down, what you are wanting, what you are creating, and they can look at it from a different angle, from a different perspective, and say, okay, have you thought about this? And what about that? And what if we don't chunk it up this way? What if we chunk it up that way? What would that do to you? And what if you would invite someone and you could delegate this part out, because there's only so much time in your day? You see where I'm going with this? This is not just you. It's not just all you. Think of the volunteer work that you're doing. And if you're not doing any volunteer work right now, I highly encourage you, go and find somewhere to just be of service in your community. I would prefer, or you would probably prefer. But really, no one does it by themselves. No big organization can do it by themselves. Don't try to eat the elephant by yourself. You're going to choke. You're going to get really anxious, you're going to get tired, and eventually you might quit. Get someone to help you. Get someone to help you plan it out. Get someone that you can delegate to so they can help you execute, that they can help you take action. There are times where you're going to have to take action and kick yourself in the you-know-where to take action yourself. But there are people out there that are wanting to be in your team, that want to be surrounded by you, and they want to be of service to you. Reach out to them. Tap into their genius and allow them to bring their wonderful gifts that they have to bring to the world and help you execute for your results. There's one major thing in this that I need to touch on, and that is because once you have the results, I'm running out of space. It's a celebration. Once you have gone through these steps, and once you have executed and you've come to the results, you want to celebrate, and celebrate the heck out of it. Now, when I say celebrate, I don't mean get the 1.5 liter bottle of Veuve Clicquot. I mean, you can do that, and if you celebrate like that, invite me. I literally mean, hold on. I literally mean anchor it within your body of what you have achieved. Be fully aware and grateful for the things that you have achieved as you have gone through those steps of goal setting, of planning, of execution, and then going into the results. Celebration is key, and here's why. When you celebrate, you anchor it within your body. You're placing it my celebrations come up in my shoulders, okay? So you might feel your celebration or your feeling of achieving something, your feeling of achievement might come up in your belly or in your knees or at the top of your head. You never know. Mine live right here in the shoulders, and every time I feel like, after I'm done with this workshop of putting it together, I'm going to tap it in and I'm going to go, yes, this is awesome. I love what I did. That's anchoring within your body. And when you celebrate like that and you anchor it within your body wherever it comes up, you can, when you have a downtime, when you have a time where you're just not feeling so hot and you feel like, man, nothing's going right, and you're about to go on this downward spiral, you can release that anchor, and it will remind you of all the successes you had. You probably heard it over and over again. Success breeds success. But where do you start? You start with one little achievement. You start with being grateful for one little thing that you did. You start with recognizing for yourself of the things that have gone right. And you start placing them where you feel them, where they come up in your body. Like I said, mine are your shoulders. And I want to send you on that journey of finding, where do your successes live? When you have a feeling of being achieved, where does that live? And place it in there. And keep it in there. Every time you feel that you've achieved something, press it in there. Press it in there. Press another one. Now you're stacking the anchors so that when you have a time where you're about to go in that downward spiral, you can easily release that and recall, oh no, wait a minute. I can achieve, and I will achieve, and I will be successful. And will I fail? Heck yes. You will fail. I fail. And here's the thing. I've seen people drown in puddles. Why? Because they stayed down. It's up to you to drown in a puddle or to come back up, kind of, wipe off your knees and say, okay, I learned. There's no failure, there's only learning. Now let's move on. All right. As I mentioned, I don't do it by yourself. Now what you gotta do is time management and putting things as you are planning them out in your calendar. I have so many clients ask me, Brigitta, you have so many things going on. How do you do it all? And how do you accomplish it? And at the end of the day, you feel accomplished, and you have very much accomplished it. Do I fail? Yes, absolutely. But here's the thing. I live on my calendar. You might use Evernote. Perfect. For me, what works really, really well is putting, as I am chunking down my goals into daily action steps as I am planning, I am putting them in my calendar. And in the morning, I look at my calendar and say, okay, so this morning, I got to do this, 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 and this. And it's spelled out very, very clearly what specifically do I need to do, so I don't have to go search for what specifically I need to do. It's already in my calendar. I already know what I need to do. Now let me get to my desk, or let me go out and let me do this, and let me get right into action. I'm not losing any money. I'm not losing any time, which is money, and I'm being really, really efficient with my time. So that's truly time management. And with every little thing that I have accomplished on my calendar, I celebrate. Again, celebration doesn't have to be big, get the hats out and do all sorts of dances. No, it's just an embracing it in your body, anchoring it in your body, and recognizing that you have done it. Because how often have we all turned around, the day is done, we look back at the day and we say, I didn't get anything done. I didn't accomplish a thing today. But if you would think and just stop for a second and go, well, wait a minute, I actually did get stuff done. If you would celebrate them, it would anchor them in deeper, and you would not be telling yourself at the end of the day that you didn't get anything done. You wouldn't be beating yourself up because you were celebrating all day long. And I'm saying little successes, big successes, medium successes, don't judge them. Anything. For some of you, including myself, getting out of bed in the morning is a success on some days. You know what I mean. Getting out of bed is a success. Brushing my teeth on some days is a success. Going out and running for a half an hour, 45 minutes, an hour, that's a success. Working out for 5 minutes, that's a success. Picking up the phone and calling that one client that you just didn't want to call, that's a huge success. Celebrate those successes, because when you focus on celebrating, you're not focusing on beating yourself up. When you continue to beat yourself up, you are well on your way on that downward spiral. When you are celebrating, you are well on that upward spiral. And it's a choice that you make with really focusing on the successes on a daily, on an hourly basis. When you are planning, go through the steps of do, doing, and done. Okay, I am planning my day today. This is what I need to do. Right now, I'm doing. On my calendar today was at this time of the day, I am putting my workshop together. I'm doing it right now. It was on my time management. It was in my calendar. It was under due. Right now I'm doing it, and when I'm done here, I'm done. And guess what? I'm going to celebrate. It's that simple. I love it. I'm going to ask you, how are you going to celebrate? How specifically are you going to anchor the feeling that comes up for you when you've accomplished something within your body? It could be, several things. It could be a yes, it could be a this number, it could be this, it could be that, it could be something eureka that you're sounding out. Find one very specific celebration cue for you. So that's a homework right there. I encourage you that whatever you have learned in this program, whatever you have learned within all of the other workshops that you have gone to, write it out. How are you going to apply that to your daily life to create your inner and outer wealth? How are you creating momentum for yourself? And it's really simple. How do you create momentum? You celebrate. You go through these steps. You celebrate the heck out of it. And out of that comes the momentum. And I cannot stress enough, momentum can go down and draw you down, and momentum can go up. It's really a choice that you make. It's a choice that you make on minute by minute every single day in your life. And I hope that this program has helped you just one more step. Thank you so much for tuning in. I hope to see you very, very soon again, somewhere on the face of this earth. When you see me, come over, say hi, hug me. I'm a big hugger. And let me know what other topics you'd like to hear from me. Thank you so much. Have a fabulous day.